But first, Dom has a heart-sinking admission about our next topic right here. What do you want to tell the audience about your relationship with Mad Max Fury Road, Dominic?
Um, Mad Max Fury Road is my favorite movie of all time. And I just have to. No, I haven't seen it. I have not seen Mad Max Fury Road.
Hasn't seen Mad Max Fury Road. Hasn't seen it. Like, there's a few movies, believe me, I have some blind spots, but one of the best, if not the best, action film of the decade, and you haven't seen it.
I know, right?
Now you know how I feel when people say that when people tell me their favorite movie, and it's like, oh my God, you haven't watched What Women Want with Mel Gibson? How could you call yourself a critic? Now you know what I have to deal with.
That's not that good of a movie. I don't know what people are saying.
That was the first one that popped into my head. That's where my mind's at. Mad Max Fury Road, though, is finally getting a sequel, technically a prequel. It's hard to believe that it's been 6 years since that immaculate film that Dom hasn't seen graced theaters in 2015. It's one of my favorites of that year and one of the best action movies of the last decade, like I said. Speculation for a follow-up of some sort has run rampant, really, since it came out. And George Miller's famously, I don't want to say that, methodical, I guess, with making movies. He doesn't release many. I think, I might be wrong on this, but I think when Mad Max Fury Road came out, the last thing he did before that was Happy Feet 2. I'm not even kidding. I think that was
You're right.
That was the last thing he did.
I remember stumbling upon his filmography, and I'm like, yeah, Mad Max Fury Road, Happy Feet. I'm like, okay, the sequel, by the way, sequel.
Yeah, he did the first one too. I remember being shocked at that when I was looking into George Miller, when I watched all the Mad Max movies leading up to Fury Road. I was like, he really did Happy Feet. Holy crap. But we're getting a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road. It's called Furiosa. And it's an epic set to take place in Australia. Not only take place in Australia, it's set to be the biggest production Australia's ever seen. Good for them. And it's going to span many years. So that's noteworthy because Mad Max Fury Road takes place over like 3 days, I believe, whereas Furiosa is supposed to take place over a span of years. Now, I know the top question is going to be, is Charlize Theron coming back? But she's not. This is going to be like an origin story of Furiosa, so it's going to be Anya Taylor-Joy. They want somebody younger because of the fact that it's going to kind of be a prequel to the events of Fury Road. It's kind of disappointing, though, because she was so good as that character. And she was really terrific. But Anya Taylor-Joy, who I love, she's still riding high from the Queen's. She's still riding high from the Queen's Gambit. She was in Thoroughbreds.
You're right. Yeah.
One of Joe's favorite films.
She got them wide eyes, which I'm not criticizing. She's beautiful, but I'm just saying she's a striking, very striking face if you look her up.
Soul penetrating eyes.
Yeah,
but
really.
Chris Hemsworth is going to co-star, which is an interesting choice. I honestly, I'm very optimistic because I really have no reason not to be. There's not a ton to say, but I think it's news worth mentioning because Mad Max Fury Road always gets headlines. And I feel like it's one of those action movies too that people still talk about. Like, and then we almost treat it like it's a standalone movie. It's that good because not only did it come so many years after Beyond the Thunderdome, the Mel Gibson Mad Max series, but it also just stood so damn well on its own as just an individual breakneck movie. I remember going to the theater for it, and I didn't see really any trailers, truthfully, or I didn't pay attention. So I didn't know what I was in for. And it only took about 20 minutes to realize this thing is really just one long chase. Choreographed, styled, beautiful. It was that. You want an argument for preserving the theatrical experience? If you saw Mad Max Fury Road in theaters, that's why the theater going experience is damn worth saving.
Was it like a Dunkirk level of like auditory and visual splendor?
Oh man, it ranks. If I were to make a top 10 list of most memorable movies to have seen in theaters, that would absolutely be in my top 10 because it was that striking, beautiful movie, and just raucous and loud in the best possible way.
Ready for the Furiosa?
Furiosa, there we go.
Keep talking.
What's her name?
Her name's Hazel.
Hazel, that's Hazel. Okay. I'm grateful for the new direction that this series is set to take and the return of George Miller as well. I do think that's going to be a very interesting sort of dynamic too, with George Miller having not directed for many years. He's really been able to focus all his attention on this kind of series and take his time with it. And lastly, Furiosa set for a release on June 23rd, 2023. And that's the weekend of my birthday. So that will be a beautiful 27th birthday present for myself.
Nice.
As a year after, I'm probably still going to be reeling from getting off my parents' insurance.
It
Dom,
hurts.
any thoughts on Furiosa, the prequel?
Not too much, but I will say that in the same way that Lord of the Rings has a special tie to New Zealand, I'm getting this growing feeling that Mad Max has a very special tie to Australia. Because if you go like a couple miles inland to Australia, it's basically Mad Max, so I've been told. With just vast wilderness and giant creatures just ready to kill, or really just the threat of imminent death in the outback, the horrible outback.
So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully by then you'll have seen Mad Max Fury Road. So when we do the Furiosa review a year from now in June, you will be a very well-versed man.
I have a growing list of movies where it's like, yeah, I should probably like get like up to date on this.
I feel you. Believe me, my watch list is a couple hundred movies deep. And it doesn't help that I find stuff or just randomly think of stuff from years back. And I'm like, I haven't watched that, so.
You still do one movie a day, right? Maybe not in a theater.
Quite frankly, not as much as I used to. This has been a down month, honestly, with projects and stuff. I still watch on average anywhere from maybe 18 to 25 movies a month in total.
Nice.
But, I used to really do one a day. Not by choice. It was just I had really more time, kind of by choice, but I had more time. But now, like I was just telling you pre-show, I'm juggling. You'll hear about one of them at the end of the show. I'm juggling at the moment about 5 different projects right now, which is awesome in my opinion, because I compare it to a year from now when I looked at my calendar and the only thing I had on it was work, so I'm blessed to be busy in that regard. And Dominic, this is the last thing I'll say about this. Dominic needs to get busy and watch Fury Road.
That's true. Hey, what are the top 3 movies that you should suggest in the chase action genre? I guess Heat is one of them, which I've seen.
Sure, Heat. Are you talking about canon movies or just movies that have been in the canon, like they're huge movies? Or
I guess
just,
so.
Great
we'll say that.
Movies. Okay. Because I was gonna really throw a curveball and say Emilio Estevez's Judgment Night.
Oh my god!
But
I don't know.
I was really gonna throw that. But like for chase movies, I guess Heat. Obviously Mad Max Fury Road. You're putting me on the spot here. For other really good chase movies, though. I don't know if it doesn't have to be a vehicle. Taking a Pelham 123.
Oh, I know there was a remake a while back, but you're talking about
the original.
The original.
The original.
You're right. When I saw the remake, like literally like 15 years ago or something, I think it had Denzel Washington, right?
Yeah.
I was like, so this is a remake? I feel like the old one would be really cool. You know what? French Connection. I have not seen French Connection.
French Connection's another one. I haven't seen that one in years. Speed. Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that one I have seen, and that one is
that's an
timeless.
Epic movie. That's an epic ass movie,
dude. The shot of Jeff Daniels when he dies. It's like he's at the house, right, and there's a bomb, and he knows, and it's just like, the camera's like, and then cut to explosion. I'm like, I love that. I love that scene.
That is a tremendously great film.
So entertaining.
In every stretch. One of the movies that made me love movies. I had it on VHS.